Hey everyone, welcome back to another out of spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. You guys joined me today inside of the beautiful interior of a Pol Star 1. But we've got a little bit of a problem, and that is a shiny, greasy steering wheel that's in need of some love. So I figured today would be a good point to update a video for you guys on how to deep clean a steering wheel, the products, all of the tips and tricks, as well as the brushes that I use to actually go through and deep clean this, and then also give you some tips on how to maintain it after you've done that deep cleaning. Welcome back, and let's jump into it. Well guys, appreciate each and every one of you being here, and steering wheels are just, man, one of those areas that I kind of think makes or break the interior of a car. You can have it mostly clean here and there, maybe some crumbs, but if your steering wheel's starting to look a little bit grungy, it's getting a little shiny, that type of stuff I am not okay with. So we're going to run through the process here today because I have gotten a lot of questions lately on my favorite interior cleaning products, what I like using on steering wheels. Coming over here to Koch Chemie Pol Star, this has absolutely changed the way I clean interiors. This is a very versatile cleaner. It's pH neutral, and importantly for me, leaves absolutely nothing behind. Now, most of the interior cleaners you'll see out there will leave some sort of detergents behind, and typically what the manufacturers actually recommend is you actually go back in there with a damp towel, wipe it down, kind of neutralize the surface, whereas this product is basically spray it on, clean what you're cleaning, and walk away. There's nothing more than you need to do there. So Koch Chemie Pol Star, very versatile product, works on pretty much everything in your interior. You can use this on dashboards. You can even use this on screens, Alcantara, carpet. You can use it on leather, of course, steering wheels here, anodized aluminum, anything like that. It is such a phenomenal product, and again, importantly for me, leaves nothing behind. Now, this Pol Star steering wheel here is not super bad, of course, but it is at the point where it's getting a little shiny, it's got some grunge on it, and that's something I often see in cars. You might have a car that's pretty well maintained, but most people don't really know what to do with their steering wheel, might be using the wrong chemicals, and just not cleaning it frequently enough. So this one's in need of a full rejuvenation, especially with all of this perforated material over here. It's really gross, but it does hold a lot of hand oils, body lotion, and all of these little perforations will get kind of gummed up over time, especially if you've seen a used car with a very neglected steering wheel on it. They get pretty gross pretty quickly. So we've got our Koch Chemie Pol Star over here. What I would recommend with this product is start at the lowest dilution ratio possible, then work your way up, and you'll kind of see how this cleaner works. So this is a product you can use 1 to 5, 1 to 20. I might start somewhere on this with a 1 to 10, 1 to 15. If I'm cleaning it, noticing it's not getting enough of that dirt and grime off, even after agitating it with some brushes, which we'll talk here in a second, that's when I would start bumping up. But basically, anytime I'm cleaning a car, no matter what surface I'm touching, I'm trying to use the least amount of chemicals possible, the least aggressive method possible, and then working my way up as I see fit. So we'll start out here with a 1 to 10 dilution ratio here in our press-all bottle with our Pol Star. And by the way, I know a lot of people ask, what I've done on this is get the Obsessed Garage stickers, and then from Koch Chemie, you can actually get their little labels here. I'll leave all those linked in the descriptions for you. Amazing bottles, super expensive. You absolutely don't need them, but buying Pol Star here, you will need to dilute it. So a couple things on brushes here. Now you'll see a couple main brushes like this that you'll see detailers, Instagram detailers, especially using stuff like this. I will tell you what I typically like to use is a stiffer bristled boar's hair brush, especially going to help in the perforations. To be quite frank with you guys, these very soft bristled brushes are not much more than marketing materials. They are not really going to open up the pores of the leather. They're not going to do a ton of deep cleaning. That comes from your actual chemical here. It's always funny. I see the posts on Instagram, you know, like Instagram versus reality, and you'll see guys do an entire interior with a brush like this, and then you'll see them like off camera, they just spray and wipe, and it pretty much does the exact same thing. So this is not one of my recommended one, but the lug nut brushes here from Detail Factory, some of my favorites out there. These will, when you get them new, the bristles will start to come out a little bit, so that's a little bit bit of a negative. They also make these in a bunch of different sizes. This one is actually great for getting right inside of here in all of the stitching. So something that's a little bit more precise, something that you can get in there, agitate a little bit more, because stitching is one of those areas that's going to, again, hold on to those body oils, hold on to that hand lotion, all of that stuff going to be a mess. This though is one of my favorite brushes. This is from Detail Factory. This is their interior scrub brush. So you do have a little bit more scrubbing power on this, but what's nice about it is it's a perfect blend here on the actual bristles of being aggressive, but very, very soft. So this is not going to be something that's going to be overly aggressive, especially on steering wheels. Once they build up this kind of lather of all those hand oils, body lotions, a lot of the really stiff bristled brushes on these areas, because of all that interaction there, you can actually start to pull some of the dye out of it. You can actually damage the steering wheel by using too harsh of a brush on it. I will tell you, most of the time, what's doing the actual work here is your chemical, not necessarily the agitation. The agitation does help for sure. We're going to be showcasing that today, but you should be good to go there. So those are the brushes I recommend, what we're going to be using. Now let's talk about towels. So typically when I clean interiors, I like to use Costco yellow microfiber towels, because the reason behind this is I don't want to wash these towels with all of my other nice polishing towels, glass towels, things like that, because they hold a bunch of dirt and grime. These are single-use towels for me, so I'll go through an interior. After they're used up, nasty, I pitch them in the trash. I know for most people that's not economical. That's what I do here at the shop, because I just find cleaning interior towels, mixing them between cars, very, very gross. Last thing you're going to want here is some gloves. You don't want to be cleaning all of this nasty dirt and grime off without gloves. So now that we understand that, I'm going to tape up the wheel. I'm going to show you through a full process so you can see the before and after here. And we're going to have a nice clean steering wheel after the fact. Well, I hope this angle works for you guys. It's a little tight in the Pol Star one here to actually film, but we're ready to go. I've taped up the 12 and 6 o'clock here so you guys can see a nice before and after. So first thing I always recommend doing is take a microfiber towel, and we want to lay this over the instrument cluster, especially if we're going to be spraying on here whatsoever, scrubbing. We don't want to get it overly saturated in there, start tearing apart screens, instrument clusters. Now again, Pol Star is totally safe to use on screens. It actually is a very good screen cleaner, leaves no residue behind, but you just want to be mindful of that. Now the first step, what I like to do when cleaning up a steering wheel, is to do an initial wipe down of it with our Koch Chemie Pol Star here. So I like to take a towel like this, always fold it into quarters. This makes 8 total sides of a towel, so once it's dirty you can flip it over. I absolutely hate using towels, you know, just in the full 16 by 16 or whatever size towel that is. So what I'm going to do here is take our Pol Star. I'm going to get one edge pretty saturated here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to rotate this here. This is just going to get that initial dirt and grime off. So you can see what's already coming off of there. Pretty nasty stuff. And honestly, for most of the time, this is all you're going to need to do for maintaining your steering wheel. But of course, I'm going for a deep clean here. I want to get this thing really, really nice and fresh, make it look like a brand new wheel on this car. So you can see all of that there. Next, what I like to do is actually take my little lug nut brush here. And what I'm going to do, hopefully you guys can see this, is take my Pol Star, spray it directly into here. Now, I'm not trying to spray down the steering wheel. Again, I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. And I'm going to come in here and agitate it, especially on all of these perforations here. I want to make sure we're getting all of those body oils, all the hand lotion, all of that nasty stuff right out of there. Then next, we're going to come in with our more interior style scrub brush here from Detail Factory. I'm going to, again, sorry if you guys can't see all this, I'm going to really saturate this now. And I'm going to come in and I'm thoroughly going to scrub this. Now I'm going to try and do my best to get all the stitching. I know it's kind of impossible for you guys to see here, but I want to work it this way. You can kind of come in here as well. And of course, we want to make sure we're getting the back side of the wheel. So let's flip this over now that you can see what kind of dirt and grime we have off of there. And we're gently going to remove all of this here. Say gently, I am, somewhat scrubbing this down, of course, with the towel. You can see already a heck of a lot less dirt on there. Looking really nice already, really refreshed. So after this has dried out from just our initial cleaning there, you can see such a big difference side to side, especially over here on the perforation, how shiny, how grungy this looks. This just brought it back to a very, very nice satin factory finish. Again, the big thing here, there is absolutely no residue. It's not sticky. There is nothing left behind there. This is why I love Koch Chemie Pol Star so darn much. So one thing I do want to focus on that I didn't so far really is a lot of that stitching. That's where this little guy is going to come in. So I'm going to spray a little bit of my Pol Star here. And of course you can do this at the same time, but just for demonstration purposes, if it's really grungy, because this holds a ton of body oils, this is where we're going to go in, get some serious scrubbing power. The cool thing about this brush, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but over here it's definitely more stiffer bristled than the other ones. And it's going to help break apart any of those hand oils, anything like that. And I'll just spend a few minutes here just coming around, cleaning all of this. And it's also very helpful if you have really tight areas like this. You can absolutely take this brush and get in there a little bit harder, and you can kind of more spot treat it, very much like doing that. And then I'm just going to wipe all of that dry. So definitely got a ton of dirt and grime off of this for not being a horrible steering wheel whatsoever, but man, is it looking amazing. All right, again, a little tight in here to film, but I want to show you some before and afters here. So you can see in all of those little perforations, well, hopefully you can see that. Hopefully the camera's focusing okay. All those little dead skin cells, all that nastiness, very, very shiny. You come over here to the after, look how perfect that looks. I mean, it looks genuinely like a brand new steering wheel. Hopefully you guys can see the difference side by side here. Again, super shiny here, very nice matte and satin, and importantly, feels absolutely great. Now, for other areas like the airbag, of course, you can go through, clean that with your bristles. Here, you would basically just want to take your Pol Star, so I can show you guys over here, spray some Pol Star down in there, and you can just easily wipe this away. Again, that's the cool part with this. You can see all the fingerprints over here. I can just very easily, very gently clean this down, flip this over, and it comes out perfectly streak free. Pol Star is just such an amazing chemical for the interior of your car. And again, the cool part here is you can do some serious deep cleaning there. You don't really need something like MZR for doing steering wheels unless they're horrendously bad. And I'm talking at the point where they're like almost a glossy steering wheel. Again, this wasn't the worst demonstration ever, but I thought it'd be good to show you guys. So in terms of maintenance on your steering wheel, what I recommend is maybe every other week, maybe once a month, however much you're using your car, right? Just take your microfiber towel, your Pol Star at probably 1 to 15 is more than enough, and you're just going to spray it on a towel, wipe it down. There's not much more than you need to do with that. But if you're getting a used car, if your steering wheel's been neglected for a while, you're going to need to go in there with some scrub brushes. They're nice to have, but for upkeep, you absolutely do not need them. So I guess we'll end this one off here, keeping a little bit shorter than my normal videos, but that is how we deep clean a steering wheel in a Pol Star 1 and other cars using Koch Chemie Pol Star. Pol Star on Pol Star. Love it. We'll see you in the next one soon. Bye-bye.